Caution, the Mark Gungor Show contains adult content intended for an adult audience. And, besides that, he's really weird. Welcome to the Mark Gungor Show with international marriage speaker and author of Laugh Your Way to a Better Marriage, Mark Gungor. This is your source for practical, down-to-earth marriage advice without all the over-spiritualization or romantic nonsense. And now the host of the Mark Gungor Show, Mark Gungor.
The crowd goes wild with delirious joy. They've joined the Mark Gungor Show, the show that deals with all things concerning
knowledge.
Indeed, I'm your host, the one, the only Mark Gungor. Joining me, as always, the ever lovely and charming Lady Diane. Ooh, aren't you pretty today? I wish I was pretty as you.
I know.
Like you could be an Arabian dancer.
Arabian Nights.
Of course, singing wonderfully in the background, Philip James Gungor is with us as well. Engineering the show, as always, the very talented but eerily creepy Timothy Robert Ray, pushing buttons, twisting knobs, and trying to stay awake during this incomprehensibly, immeasurably boring show. This is the show that handles your marital challenges, relational conundrums, and dating dilemmas that you can email to us at ask@markgungor.com. By the way, speaking of these two monkeys here.
Who two?
You two.
Okay.
I'm talking to the audience out there.
Uh-oh.
Out there in television land.
This is it, Diane.
This is it. They're both fired.
That's what I was going to say. Is this like
You're
a
out of
Donald
here.
Trump?
We're done.
Fired.
We're done with you
This
two.
is their last show.
This is our last show. I
Sorry.
didn't tell them ahead of time, but
Wanted it to
what it
be
is.
on the fly.
Actually, of course, people know that I travel all over the world doing these conferences and stuff, and as a speaker and stuff. Oftentimes, people want me to come, but I'm not able to come, or my financial requirements are too high. The explanation behind that is not that it's about ego and stuff. It's just when I go out, I have to generate income for everybody. Mm-hmm. It's not just me.
You pay the bills.
I pay all the bills, all the employees, everything. So when I come, it's got to be a fair amount of reciprocation, particularly if I go overseas. If I go overseas, sometimes people contact me. They want me to come overseas. It's a fairly hefty honorarium that you have to pay, because now I'm leaving the country. I'm pretty much out of it for a week, even if you just want me to speak for a day or two, all the travel time. And you basically have to cover our income for the week. And it's not about being mean or insensitive. If you don't want me to come, it's fine. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing here, but I can't just stop doing what I'm doing and come over there for, $1,000 offering. You just can't do it, okay? It's not going to work. We would be out of business, and that would be the end of it. On the other hand, my son Phil here also does these conferences and would be more than happy to come to any church, any size church, particularly you guys that have smaller churches, or those overseas who would like. A lot of you overseas watch this show. You know who Phil is. He does my presentation, does his own little unique twist on it.
I pull out all the heresy.
Takes out all the falsehood and puts it correct. So
And he's cuter. I'm sorry. He's just cuter.
I know that kind of sucks. So anyway, if you would like to have one of the Gungor boys come, you can either take me or Mini-Me, who's actually bigger than me, and come as well. And ladies looking for speakers for women's conferences and stuff like that. Miss Diane here would be fabulous. She's really great. She has an amazing story to tell. The story that often makes her discouraged just thinking about it is a great blessing and encouragement to others, because one of the things about, if you really know our stories, the older ones are on this table, it's rather encouraging for those of you who think you've made too many mistakes in your life and there's no hope for you. There's always hope for you, and we serve a very, very big God. So just contact our office, go on our line, laughyourway.com. Contact us and say, I'm interested in having Phil come or Diane come, or if you want me to come. I mean, obviously, I go everywhere. So there, that was a commercial.
That was a commercial.
Unexpected
That
commercial.
was very
All right.
unexpected.
Very nice. All right. Sunshine, what do you got?
Okay, You're going to probably hate most of this article, but that's okay. You just sit there and listen anyway.
Full of hate.
Okay.
The hateful 8.
8
Because that's what
There's
he's going to do. He's
there's-
going to sit there and listen.
There's 8. There's
I can
8
always hope.
There's 8 tips here.
8 tips.
It's the hateful 8.
Well, I don't think you're going to hate all of them.
I just saw
but
the
some of
hateful
them. Yeah, I know. You keep
I don't know
telling.
why I saw it. I couldn't stop. It's like watching a train wreck.
That's
A
what
car
my
wreck.
daughter says. No matter how awful a movie is, she has to watch it till the end. I, on the other hand, 12 minutes in, 43 minutes in, whatever, I can. This is too much, and I shut
Quentin
it off.
Tarantino, is that how he says his
See,
name?
I don't think I'd even watch one
Okay.
of his.
I've only seen 1 or 2 things. Virtually everything he does is extremely violent
Yeah,
and
I can't
highly
watch it.
disgusting.
I'm surprised that you keep watching him.
I've only seen it a couple of times. So this one I wanted to see because I love cowboy stuff. I thought, what does he do with the cowboy thing?
I would know right off the bat. A cowboy movie, Quentin Tarantino, not going to watch it.
Well, I thought, we're going to see brains splattered everywhere in the first 5 minutes. Because that's what he is. He's just really gross. Really
yeah.
There's no one more gratuitously violent than this man. He's clearly a sick man. I don't know what goes on in his mind who thinks, let's show this, So anyway, I'm really expecting I'm going to bail. Because, on these airplanes and all this travel, I spend hours doing nothing, I suppose if I was truly spiritual, I'd be memorizing the scriptures the whole time, but I don't. So anyway, I'll give it a shot. I'm assuming 10 minutes in, I'm going to shut it off. But anyway, this movie goes on, and or any spoiler here, it goes at least an hour or more before anything happens.
I'd still shut it off.
And there's actually a story here.
Okay.
And it's kind of this major whodunit, how did this happen kind of thing. And I thought, well, wow, he's actually not going to be this insanely gross person. Well, until we get past I don't know, it was about 3/4 of the way. Then it hits the fan. Oh my gosh, it was horrifying. And at this point, it's like, I can't look away.
Well, there's something wrong with you.
Clearly. But you're into it. You've got 3/4 of the movie here.
It does not matter. I've turned him
I've got
off.
almost 90 minutes of my life into this thing.
Got to get a return on the investment.
I got to get a return on my investment at this point, and it was just
Can't do it.
So sick.
Can't.
Anyway, so the hateful 8 is on my mind. We got 8 tips, and you know what?
You just use the whole thing here, the opening.
Time.
We don't have time. Next time. Next time.
Tune into next week's
Between
show.
commercials and your blathering.
And we will discuss her 8 tips to make your
It's
relationship
the Mark Gungor Show
feel.
concerning all things Mark Gungor.
Yeah, that's right.
So anyway, that was my
That was
movie
it.
review
There you go.
of The Hateful 8. You probably don't want to see this movie. It's so gross.
There was a Clint Eastwood one, too. What was it? Not that long. Well, it was long ago now. It's probably 18 years ago now. But it was the same thing. I thought, Westerns, I like them. And it was way too violent and icky for me. So I'm sure this is well over my line.
Yeah, this makes Clint Eastwood look like a Sunday school teacher.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Not sexual or anything. It's just the violence. It's enough to make a normal person vomit.
Clearly, your father's not normal because he didn't vomit. He kept watching it.
You could only imagine what a normal person would
I'd have been running for the bathroom.
I wish you could have seen the pictures of my face. I'm just like,
No, can't.
oh man! I mean, it just take it to a new level. Oh, so bad, disgusting, and now all kinds of people all over the world are going to watch this thing because they want to know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so we'll come up with your 8 tips next time. Stay tuned next week for the 8 tips. Or take a break and be back with your emails and give our tips to your emails right after this.
Mark Gungor. Yeah, we've got an app for that. Download your free Mark Gungor app today.
Mark Gungor here in my sparkly jacket, here to talk to you about Transition 1, a 1-year transition gap year program that we have for kids that are coming out of high school and before they go into college. Slow down. Take a year. The Bible says, seek first the kingdom of God, and all these things that you want will be added to you. Well, we think, no, I got to get the stuff. No, you'll get the stuff. God wants you to get. God will help you get your stuff and do life. But slow down for a minute. You don't need to just rush off in a mad burst to try and get all the stuff you can from the world going to some college. And not everybody should even be going to college. There's a whole nother sermon. But for heaven's sakes, whatever you do, take a year, slow down, put God first. This is the most likely time that you'll ever have to take a year and just put God really first in your life. When you're going to do it? After you graduate from college? Not likely. After you get married? Forget about it. When you have kids? Are you kidding? Maybe when you're 65. But then you don't have the energy to go do it anymore. When else are we going to do it? It's the perfect time. It's the perfect time. Encourage your young people. They're freshmen right now. So it's great. Listen, I'm telling you, what I want you to do is, and there's several of these programs out there. I think you should come to ours. But whatever you do, slow down. Get into your kids' thinking. What we're going to do is you're going to go to high school, and then you're going to do a 1-year gap program where you're going to focus on your faith and life and how to do life. And then after that, you can go to college, you can do whatever else. It'll save you a lot of money. It'll help them focus. They'll be changed forever if you will do this. Go check out our website, transition1.org. Transition1.org. Slow down. Put Jesus first. See what that does for our young people.
Hot-head blonde in a tricked out Ford, red round the lights, red on the hood.
We're back. Mark Gungor Show, talking about love, marriage, and relationships, grooving to the sweet, mellow tunes of Jimmy Bratcher. Check out his music at jimmybratcher.com. By the way, you got to remind me, I got to record some tracks for him for his new Christmas.
Been saying that for months.
I keep forgetting about it.
Put it on your calendar.
It's going to be December, and I'm going to go,
Put it on your calendar.
It wouldn't make any difference. I never look at my calendar.
Hey, Siri.
I'm the one guy that I make notes, and I never go look at my notes to remind myself what I'm supposed to do.
You don't have pop-ups, like reminders that go off, alarms that come up on your
dismiss.
phone? You're hopeless.
I know it. That's
You're
why
hopeless.
No, that's why you're here.
All right, I'll put it on my calendar. When do you want to do it? And then I'll bug you.
I just start bugging me.
All right.
All right.
Okay. All right. I'll get with you.
We both got to do it.
Let me make myself a note.
You got. Okay, so Timmy's gonna.
All right. I'll give it to me, and I'll take care of you.
Inside baseball here. Nobody cares.
Okay.
All right, you got.
She says, I'm searching for advice on 2 topics.
Okay.
The first topic, my husband has had a friend that's a girl longer than he has known me. Mm-hmm. She started having relationship issues and is using my husband to vent to. I find this an issue because they seem to talk more and more frequently. I have brought it to my husband's attention, as you have said in previous shows, but he doesn't seem to see my point of view still. I don't want him to lose his friend, but with her marriage on the rocks, I just don't feel comfortable with him talking to her. Mm-hmm. They have never had a relationship, by the way. They've always just been friends. Mm-hmm. Your advice on that number 1 topic?
Trust your gut. If alarms are going off, say something. And just tell him, at some point you're going to have to, look, this is your life too. It's not just his. He winds up having an affair and it winds up ruining your marriage. You guys end up in a divorce. Your kids are traumatized. You're hardly have any money now for years and years and years to come. You got to protect your life and go with your gut. If you're getting the vibe that this is getting unhealthy, you need to say, you need to stop seeing her. It's just that simple. And he won't like it, but sucks to be him. It's just too bad. Don't let someone else ruin your life. All you girls out there, seriously, you got to think of something. There are women, as much of a pain in the behind as your husband is. There are a lot of women who want what you have. They look at him, they look at your home, they look at your cars, they look at your children, they look at your status in the world, and they really look at you in an envious way. And without even knowing and being aware of it, in their head they're doing the math. If they have him, they think they can get what you have. It becomes a threat. Actually, I think it's a little healthy, to be honest with you. I think you should look at every woman in your life as a potential threat. That doesn't mean to be mean to them.
Just on guard.
But it's just, you got to be on guard. You got to be on guard. I think you can have friends, female friends. I have female friends. Diane's one of my best female friends, but one of my wife's best female friends. We're virtually all 3 of us together at all times. Like the hateful 3 instead of the hateful 8. But, you just got to be careful.
Or she could say, sure, if you want to help her, have her come over to the house and we'll all have supper together, not just him being friends with her alone. Yeah. That is...
just follow your gut. If you think there's something that's inappropriate, I've had my wife do that to me. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes guys will say, I don't feel anything towards her, but that doesn't mean she's not over her head with you. And that can be very problematic.
He won't like it. I listen. My wife has called me on more than once. I must admit, I'm not really paying much of attention. Either she's thinking my actions are going to be misinterpreted or whatever, but she'll call me on the carpet and say, and she's never disrespectful. In fact, she's probably the most respectful she ever is towards me.
When it comes to that topic.
But it does, although she disses me quite regularly.
I've never witnessed that.
You've never.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I have no idea. We're something else. All you guys who think you are frustrated because you don't have the perfect marriage, you really ought to come live with us for a week. Mm-hmm. I've actually thought of this. Mm-hmm. I thought, we should actually.
You should do a reality show. Everybody will see it.
That would be funny.
That should be your show.
That would be fun. But I'm serious. I thought, if I wasn't doing what I'm doing now, I think, of course, then I wouldn't have the status where people would care. But I would say, I would like to have, because people spend $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 for a week of counseling and stuff. Man, I ought to charge people $5,000 a week to come live with us. Mm-hmm. Live with us for the whole week, $5,000, 24 hours a day, and we'll deal with your crap with you. But then you get a chance to see how normal people react in life.
At the Gungor Ranch.
At the Gungor Ranch. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I'm actually a big believer in this. We're never going to get to anything here. But the reason for this is I'm convinced counseling hits a wall. It is limited. It can only if you can't get straightened out with a certain degree of counseling, in my opinion, in a fair short amount of time, you'll counsel yourself to death, and it won't ever change anything. There's something that you need more than just information in an hour, sitting where everybody's being something they're not. I think one of the best ways to fix troubled marriages is to have a troubled couple move in with a healthy couple for at least a week, ideally 30 days. For 30, first of all, especially couples who are yelling and screaming at each other, you'd be surprised they don't do it when there's somebody else. Mm-hmm. They learn how to control themselves. And you constantly are bringing up subjects and dealing with issues, and they're starting to learn. They need to see how to do life. They see the couple going at each other, irritated. They think, wow, we'd be killing each other over that kind of thing. But you guys aren't. Why not? Because we're not crazy, all right? And we know how to control ourselves and all. I just think that people... I remember one couple we had to stay with us for a while. And when they because of whatever reason. But no story behind it. So, but they stayed with us for many, many months. And at the end of it, I remember the lady saying to us, there's a real anointing in your home. I said, really? Yeah, we haven't argued in all the time that we've been staying with you. I looked at her and said, that's not an anointing. She says, it's not? I said, no, we can hear you. Mm-hmm. You have no idea how differently people behave when other people can see they're crazy. Mm-hmm. The problem with some of you guys is it's just you two alone. And even with your kids, that you get used to. You don't behave yourself. At some point, to succeed in life is a thing called self-control. It's supposed to be one of the fruits of the Spirit. Some people, you won't ever get it sitting in a counseling session for an hour. You're not going to get it. Mm-hmm. You actually need to stay with some people and learn and see how to do life. It really doesn't take that long. It could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, ideally 30 days. But you literally stay with somebody who's healthy, and they call you on your garbage. No, we don't talk to each other that way. No, you know what I'm saying? And they start to learn how to do life. And it's not an endless counseling. I'm convinced a lot of people don't need counseling at all. They've hit the wall. It's like they need to learn how to do life. Anyway, so if you want to come and live with us for a week, give me a call. Mm-hmm. My wife would kill me. She'd never let you do it. All right, let's take a break. I don't even remember how we got there. And we'll be back, theoretically, with emails right after this. We were on the email.
Attend Mark's Laugh Your Way to a Better Marriage event. Visit laughyourway.com for upcoming dates and locations.
We tried our best and we made a mess of the thing that they call love.
We're back on the Mark Gungor Show. Mark, Diane, Phil, Timmy Engineering, and a different Nancy today.
Oh, he's not a Nancy.
He's a Nancy
he's
today.
He's a Daniel.
Hey, Daniel, you're Nancy today.
No, it's like saying he's a Sally. That's not good.
How you doing, Daniel? Daniel's son.
Yeah.
He's good. How old are you now?
I'll be 20 tomorrow.
20 tomorrow.
He's like a young man. He's like a man.
He's gonna be here with us for his birthday. That sucks for him.
The good news is you're not in jail. The bad news is you're stuck with us for the day. All right.
Okay, we're in the middle of this email where she said she wants advice from you on 2 topics.
Oh, yeah.
First
That's how we
topic
got there.
was this.
Just tell your husband. If you're uncomfortable with your husband and you trust your gut, just call him on it. And if he's a fairly reasonable guy, just saying something will kind of get it. Say, hey, you need to be careful around her. And help him pull back a little bit.
Hopefully.
Just don't be afraid to talk to your own spouse about your interests. They're your interests. All right, that was my point. Okay.
Her second topic. My husband took a new job in the fall for better income and spending more time with the family. Since taking that job, he has slowed to almost a stop at attending church on Sunday. He stays up late on Saturday nights playing video games, and then, of course, by 8 a.m., he is too tired to attend. Our church does not have a later service except in the evening and no kids' church, and he works till midnight. Any recommendations on how to get him to see the urgency in going to church with his family?
There's no average. How do I get my husband to do this? How do I get my husband? You know, there's no magic. Everybody's waiting for magic. You tell him, stop. Shut off the video games.
Come to bed.
Larry, if you don't shut off the video games, you're going to come home tomorrow and you're not going to find them or throw them in the trash. You're going to melt them down. I mean, you set how you will be treated in your home and your behavior. I don't know. What are these women afraid of? He's going to beat them? Maybe he's a violent man. If I am staying up watching video games, my wife is going to kick my keister. Stop it. Or, hey, you can stay up as long as you want to watch video games, but at 8 o'clock, I'm pouring a bucket of water on your head. And you think she'd do it?
You go, oh, yes, she would.
Oh, she would absolutely do it.
Yes, she would.
Because my wife's not crazy like some of you girls. For heaven's sake, you don't put up with this stuff. How do I get my husband to quit, grabbing girls' butts? You smack him in the face. How do I get my husband to quit looking at porn? You kick him out of the house. Say, don't you dare do that in my home. How do I get my husband? Good grief. Don't tolerate this stuff. I don't know what they're... Clearly, these women live in fear. It's got to be it, right?
Fear of making
They
them
do.
mad.
I just
fear of
spoke to one on the phone.
Pure fear.
She found out that her husband's on dating sites and doing all this stuff.
And she hasn't said anything to him.
And the first question I asked, have you said anything to him? Well, no.
No, I know. That's how you can tell. See, I called before you even said it. They don't even say it. They won't. I have had women come talk to me about outrageous behavior
And they never
that they
say anything.
still haven't said to their husband.
I don't want to lose his trust. I want to keep the line of communication open.
Oh no,
You don't want to lose his trust.
Oh, good Lord. I don't want to lose his trust. He's out there trying to hook up with other chicks. I don't want it
because she found this and was looking and sneaking.
What is this? What is this in these girls?
And she's
Can I keep gathering more information?
No.
I found out my husband took, the story, took pictures of his genitals.
Sent them to other women.
And sent them to other women. Which I don't get that one. I mean,
I don't want to see it.
who feels that good about
You
their
think
genitalia?
that's going to impress me? I don't think so.
Who looks at their own genitals and thinks, what man? Looks at that and goes, you know what?
She needs to see it.
People got to see this.
Maybe his is covered in platinum or something.
Spectacular.
Who looks at their willy thing? You know, I've got to share this with others. So anyway, she finds this. She sets an appointment. It takes weeks for her to get in to see me. She tells me, my husband, I found out he was sending pictures of his genitalia to another woman. And oh my gosh, who does it? I couldn't get her on my... Anyway, so I finally said, well, what did he say? She said, I didn't say anything to him. Are you kidding me? My wife would immediately remove my genitalia from my person. And this lady waits weeks to meet with me so she can go, what should I do? What should I do? Really? I don't understand this. Clearly, these are not healthy women. These are the kind of women who should move in with another couple so they can see how to do life. That couple, you should come, move in with us, and I promise you, you will learn from my wife that we don't take pictures of our genitalia and email them to people. Anyway, good heavens. You don't put up with it. That's what you do. We'll be back with more right after this.
Caution, the Mark Gungor Show contains adult content intended for an adult audience.
Let me tell you, people, I ain't got nothing but the blue.
We are back Mark Gungor, Diane, Phil, answering your questions. What do you got?
I would like you to ask you a question. I've listened to your seminars online.
Okay.
She would. I've listened to your seminars online a few times, and you said, for the love of God, wait until you get married, because if you don't, things will be more complicated. Having premarital sex.
It can be more complicated, yes.
Well, yes, it does, and I believe you, she says.
Okay.
But what hope is there for us, my husband and I, when we both have had sexual partners before? Do you have a book, a seminar, or something for us who did things the wrong way around?
Yeah, my book and my seminar.
When our sexual life is affected.
What kind of question is that?
Well, she's listened to your seminar and all of that. She wants
pay
specifically
attention.
what to do.
You do life on purpose. What I mean by harder is without this sexual connection between a man and a woman who it's just been the two of them, it becomes much easier. And you don't have the baggage and stuff from the other. It doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. People misinterpret, our lives are going to suck. We'll never be able to have great. No, I say myself, you can still have great sex. You just have to be very intentional about it. Okay? And if you have thoughts that pop into your head because a touch or a word or something reminds you of when you were with so-and-so doing the wild thing, you just put it back out of your head. I mean, it can be a little disturbing, and some people say, it's frustrating. I've read Christian men and women who said they feel bad because when they were kissing their wife or something, it reminded something reminded of him when he was doing a hoochie mama with some girl in his 20s when he was, and her head pops in and he just feels bad about it. What should I do? What are you going to do? You just pop it out of your head and you move on. You just have to be very intentional. That's all. If you have baggage, you know what you do? You pick up your bags and you carry them. Or I know some psychologists might say to throw the bags away. I don't know. All I'm saying is if you find it difficult, and not everybody does, remember, when I'm talking and I'm trying to describe every man and woman in the world, one tends to use rather broad descriptions. People don't understand it. They think I'm talking directly to them. That everything Mark says is directly. No, when you're trying to, overwhelmingly, people who have lots of sexual partners before they get married, sex becomes complicated for them, and they can have a lot of baggage from previous encounters and this, that, and the other. One will want, him to do such and such to her because she really enjoyed that when she had another lover who did such and such, but he doesn't like doing such and such. Well, that's a problem. What are you going to do? You don't do such and such. You move on, I've talked to women like that, like oral sex. She's married to a guy who doesn't want to do it. It just grosses him out. He doesn't want to do it. He can't handle it, okay? For whatever reason. But she had lovers who did that, and she really liked it.
And that's what she wants.
Had she not been doing this with other lovers,
she wouldn't know.
It wouldn't be. Or guys who've done weird things, or one of the big rush that they had was having sex in an elevator with some girl when he was 21. When he marries his wife now, and they're in their 50s, and he wants to, let's have sex in the elevator. It'll take 30 seconds to get to the top floor, or put stop on the elevator. And she doesn't want to do that.
No.
Why is he pushing her to do something? Because he did it before, and he got a rush from it. And he thought it was cool, and okay, stop. He said, "Well, I really want to do it." Well, too bad. Well, and they feel it's a down. That's what I'm talking about. Some of the baggage. These are kinds of things that you carry. You just carry the bags. That's all. You can have great sex. Goodness gracious. It's kind of hard to have bad sex.
People don't understand the intentional, because we get that question a lot. Well, now we did it wrong. What do we do? He didn't explain it. Yes, he did. He said you just have to be intentional, but they don't know what that means. I think they want specific.
A lot of people, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It's going to have to be more intentional. I don't know. What's on my DVD? Do I not say intentional? It's been years since I've done
that's what I'm saying. You do say you need to be more intentional. They don't understand what that means.
I think because as soon as I say something, their mind changes. They're thinking, that's by the time they come back, they didn't hear what I said.
They want the recipe. Like, first you do this, then you do this, and that's not.
There's no recipe.
You
just stop. If some couples, she really likes he really liked French kiss. Okay, she doesn't like a French kiss. I mean, everyone's got their thing, right? Some people don't like to be touched in a certain way, creeps them out. Well, he liked touching girls in a certain way. You don't have that if you hadn't been doing that with other people. What do? You suck it up, Buttercup. You find something else. You just got to work it through. Well, it's kind of a drag. Yeah, that's the baggage. Carrying bags. It can be a little exhausting at times. And it would be easier if you didn't have to carry the bag. That is my point. That's why you shouldn't do these things. That's why you should tell your kids not to do these things. Well, what if we did? It's not the end of the world. Pick up the bags.
You just have to work around it.
Just work around it is all. It's not all that complicated. And it's not the end of the world, and it doesn't mean you can't have great sex. You can have fabulous sex. It's just, sometimes these things, you just run into these things. It is what it is. One guy, he loved parking, loved just going parking with his wife. She did this with him. Okay, that's the other thing. Some of you girls, you teach these guys things.
So when they were dating, that's what they did.
You do, and then when afterwards, you don't do it anymore.
For everyone under 45, he's not referring to actually just physically going and parking cars.
Parking cars.
And then going.
This is talking about you pull over the side of the road, somewhere on the side road, and everybody gets naked and runs around and goes crazy. All right? And so now after the marriage, he doesn't do this anymore. He really wants to do it because he really liked that. You know who taught him that?
She did.
She did. Now she doesn't want to do it. That's the problems you have about doing stuff before marriage that you don't want to do in marriage. I saw on a Dr. Phil show once, he's all mad at her because he won't give her oral sex. All right? Well, understandable, except that's all she did for him for several years when they were dating. Yeah. And then she said, well, I don't want to do this anymore. I thought, well, we got married, we don't have to do this anymore. Well, she taught him this.
Yep.
All right? That's part of the baggage. So that couple on Dr. Phil has baggage that they got to carry and work through. There's ways around all this stuff. I'm just saying. Better not to do this stuff so you don't pick up these things. If you've done this, and let's face it, a lot of people have done it. But that's why some of you have the bag. That's what you're doing is you're pointing out this is why you have baggage. What do we do? Carry the bags. Anyway, all right. What else you got?
Work around it. Okay. She says, my husband and I have an issue we've been fighting about for a year. We cannot come to a conclusion, and we're hoping to get a third-party perspective.
Oh, we'll give you perspective.
Here's my side, she says. My husband was into pornography since we dated. I didn't know that when they started dating, she says. He's done now, been clean for 3 years. However, he has video games with really promiscuous characters. This makes me furious and hurts my feelings. I feel like it's basically porn because of how realistic it looks and how much they show. I've confronted him. He tells me he understands, but I still find them on his tablet. I usually let small things slide, but this makes me feel worthless and replaced. I just want to smack some sense into him. No matter how I say it, I feel like it goes over his head. I know he just wants fun games, but how much should I endure for his enjoyment? Honestly, all of the porn at the beginning was enough. I feel like I'm reliving the same hell. Here's what my husband has to say. Video games are an important part of my life. I use them as a coping mechanism, my favorite genre.
An important part of my life.
That's what he says.
Okay. Do you have any clue how stupid that sounds?
He uses them as a coping mechanism.
Okay.
My favorite genre has things in it that my wife disagrees with. We keep hitting this snag. I do understand that it hurts her and have tried to work with her on it, but still feels like it's not. I still feel like it's not enough for her, and her rules become more strict. I want her to feel like I do put her first over my games, but my games matter to me also.
Okay. I can see the pros and cons on both sides. You want to hear those? Not that they matter. They don't matter. Everything I'm going to say right now that doesn't matter, 10 cents. Okay. Number one, he looked at porn. Do you know what porn is? It's not just scantily clad women, right?
Right.
I don't know if this lady knows what porn is. So when you say there's a video game with a avatar that's scantily clad is the same as porn, clearly you don't know what porn is. That's not porn, right?
Right.
Okay? What they do in porn is way more than scantily clad. First of all, they're not clad at all. And they do things that would want to make a normal person, I don't know, vomit. All right? That's porn. For you to put it in the same category is a little goofy on your part. Hello? All right? Now, none of that mattered. All that matters is you don't like it. Mr. Bob, Larry, George, whatever your name is. I don't care. We'll call you George for the moment.
Maybe that's his full name.
Larry Bob George.
That's it.
Larry Bob George, listen to me. Your wife doesn't like it. Stop it. Just stop it. Why men continue to insist on things that makes their home life hell makes no sense to me. Well, what does the Bible say? Here's what the Bible says. Better to live on the corner of a roof. Now, I want you to think that through. What would it be like to live on a corner of a roof? You're up there, it's cold, it's rainy, you get wet, you're sharing space with, rats and squirrels and baboons if you're in Africa. Okay, you're fighting, you're competing for space because there's a raccoon with rabies that wants that. It's a little uncomfortable to live on the corner of a roof. Listen to what the Bible says. That's better than living in a house with a contentious woman. Mm-hmm. So the misery. I want you to picture it, Larry, Bob, Fred, whatever your name is. What was his name?
Larry Bob George.
Oh, Larry Bob George. Larry Bob George. I want you to literally, seriously, I'm serious. I want you to imagine what it would be like to live for 60 days on the corner. You don't even get the whole roof. On the corner with bugs and creepy and mold and what that would be like. The Bible says that's better. Larry Bob George, that's better than living in a house with a ticked off woman. Don't be a dope. You got to live with this woman. Stop playing the game.
But they're important to him.
I'll grow up and do something else.
I'm proof that there's life after video games.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
I used to be very intense into video games. Play them every single night. A lot of my social interactions were on video games. But you grow up and life changes and you have kids and you realize you have to get up in the morning. Things like that happen. And I
you
don't
want a happy
wife.
But here's the thing. I don't care if you play video games. Mm-hmm. You could be 93 and spend 12 hours a day playing with it. I don't care. But you got to live with this woman. Mm-hmm. If you got to live with this woman, if your wife hates it, and makes your life a living hell because you watch reruns of MASH, rather than argue about that, just quit watching reruns of MASH. Well, that's unreasonable, probably. Mm-hmm. Why would I do it? Because it's better to live on the corner of a roof than with a ticked off woman. Why would you keep doing something because it's ticking her off? Mm-hmm. Stick your head and try to give yourself a swirly. We need a swirly. Where's the swirly button? Swirly! Stick your head in the toilet. Flush! Or take your video games and your little screen and move to the top of the corner of your roof. That's what you ought to do. You ought to kick him out. Let him live on the roof for a while. When he wants to live back in the house, they get rid of the games, you come back in the house. All right, we're gone long on this segment. We'll be back right after this.
Want more of Mark? Visit markgungor.com. There you will find everything that Mark has to offer.
Fish won't bite and I don't care.
We're back.
I'm still gonna sit.
So what were we just talking about?
You said life's not fair. You wanted to continue after the break.
Yeah, this guy. It's not fair. I should be able to watch video games. Not fair. Life's not fair. I don't get to do everything I want to do. That would be fair. If my wife would let me
that would be ridiculous. That would not be fair.
If my wife would let me do everything I want to do, eat everything I want to eat, go everywhere I want to go. And actually, there is a version of fairness. What was his name again? Bob George, Larry Bob George.
Larry Bob George.
I don't keep changing his
name. Don't worry,
name.
Larry. I'll never forget.
Larry Bob George.
Here's a version of how you can get everything you want. Larry Bob George. Larry Bob George. Write this down. Take notes. You can do whatever you want if you're single. Okay? So you got to ask yourself, do you want to be married or do you want to be single? These guys, they want to act like single guys. Mm-hmm. You know who gets to do whatever they want? Larry Bob George? Single guys.
That don't get married.
They don't get married. Of course, they don't get sex very often. And all the other problems that come along with it. But they can do anything they want. That's what they get to do. So Larry Bob George, if you want to watch your stupid games, do all the stuff that you want to do and go where you want to do, you can do that. It's called single. Mm-hmm. When you're not single, you don't get to do everything you want to do. I know it feels unfair. It is truly unfair.
Yeah, baby.
Because I would... Look, seriously,
baby.
Right?
But I get it.
We all would think...
Oh, I get it.
We'd like to just do whatever we want to do. Mm-hmm. That's what every man wants to do whatever. Nancy over here.
That's very derogatory. You do realize that.
That sounds mean.
He's standing in for Nancy today. He loves me.
He's Nancy,
sort of.
not a Nancy.
He's not a Nancy. He's Nancy. I said Nancy. Okay. I didn't call him a Nancy.
Okay.
Nancy.
It's a noun, not an adjective.
Okay, right.
Our 20-year-old Nancy over here. Still doesn't sound good, does it?
Proper noun, not a...
I forgot what my point was.
Maybe he won't be here tomorrow for his birthday.
I wouldn't blame him.
But he pretty much can do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Because he's a 20... But are you still at home, though? Okay, so that even has limitations.
Yes, he's at home.
Because I know his mother. Mm-hmm. And she won't put up with crap from him. She won't care how old he is.
It's good. It's teaching him.
Yeah, see, now he's...
Well, there's some women that want to do everything that they want to do, too. Well, you can't when you're married.
Yeah,
you can't go out to the bars and hang out with your girlfriends and go to the male strip reviews.
Yeah, you can if you're single.
Right.
If you're single. So here's the thing. All you people who want to do whatever you want to do, all you Larry Bob George out there, you can stay single. Now, if you're going to get married, guess what? You don't get to do everything you want to do. You get to do some things. It's not like you lose your soul entirely, but you got to make some compromise. Not entirely. You lose part of your soul, but not entirely. You have, and there's wins in this. You have a wife. You get to be with her.
I see a win already. Like, it doesn't seem like she has a problem that he plays video games.
It was really that he doesn't get it for church.
Those video games.
And that he doesn't get up for church because he's up playing video games so late.
It was, again, I think the wife doesn't quite get that that's not porn. I could give him that.
Right.
You know.
Let him play some other game, but you're still going to get up and go to church.
Yeah, you get him to go to church. I mean, that's the other alternative.
Maybe that'd be a compromise.
Look.
Like play those games if you get up for church?
Yeah, I guess.
That might work.
But if she doesn't like the tatas, are they really nasty now? I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, she's talking about it's so close to porn. I'm thinking he's in a different genre than I've played.
Yeah, that's not
I mean,
porn.
assuming it's fantasy.
Well, maybe there is something that we're not aware of.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's out there.
But again, it's her. She doesn't have to tolerate it. No,
she might be a little oversensitive to it.
You think? She calls a scantily clad avatar porn. That's not porn.
Right. When she said porn, I'm like, no, that's. I don't remember any of those video games.
I don't recommend this, but if you really think it's porn, I guess you could always go online and look at some porn.
Just to compare?
Just to get a shot, you know, and you might realize, ooh, wow, I guess that's not porn, so you might be overreacting a tad. That's okay, she can do that. It's her life. Yes. She doesn't like it, that's all that really matters.
It's too sensitive for her because of his past issues with porn? That's all that he needs to know.
And then she does give you slack on the avatars. You can play your game till 6 in the morning. Just enough time for you to go shower and go to church. Or you just quit doing it. You know, you're not single, dude. Suck it up. All right. Final break. We'll be back with the final segment.
Have a marriage dilemma? Email your questions to ask@markgungor.com, and Mark can answer them during one of our shows.
Start the music. Play the song.
Throw her aside.
Someone on the dock to hold the lines.
We'll dance together.
We'll be back in a few hours.
We were just saying it's summertime here, and my goal is to spend as much time on the boat as possible. Diane says, I want to go too. And I said, good, because we could use an anchor. Or just make her stand at the dock to grab our lines.
And people say you're nice. They don't know. They don't know it's hot in here.
It is kind of warm in here.
It's very warm in here.
Right.
Okay,
last
email for the day, a dating email.
All right.
She says, hi, Mark, I love your show. Thank you. It's so helpful.
I thought you were doing her voice for a second.
Hi, Mark. It's helpful. I love your show. Okay. She says, recently I met a guy and we immediately hit it off. We then started chatting over the phone. So then I found out in the first week that he has a girlfriend. I was quite upset and hurt by this because I feel a strong connection with him.
The other girls should be hurt.
I feel a strong connection with him. He then explained about how he accidentally met and connected with me. And he has no intention of cheating on his girlfriend, and he's trying to make up his mind. I was initially annoyed by this, but I realized that one may connect with someone accidentally in a bar or the gym or at work. But what can I do now? I really like him. I don't want to come between him and his girlfriend. I would love that he leaves her and tries to explore me and him, but yet you don't want to come between him and his girlfriend.
No, she doesn't want to be the person. She doesn't want that stigma, but she wouldn't mind, I think.
But what do I do about it? Pray. I have kept all communications to a minimum. What should I do?
You know, that's good, because personally, I really feel attracted to Angelina Jolie. And I know it's not right, but I kind of like her. What should I do? Do these people actually hear themselves when they talk? Do they read these emails before they send them?
No, she seriously thinks that it's a problem that you can help her with.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? How connected can she be to this guy?
She says
you just met him, right?
Yeah, she's 27, he's 33. They met at a bar. They were throwing a party for one of the girlfriends. She said they were instant messaging, and he always texts her first, and then she replies back to him. He's been with the other girl for 4 months.
And
the
how long
messaging has
been?
Continued a couple of times since she found out about the girlfriend.
But I mean, how long? What's the time frame of her and this boy?
I don't know if I asked that. Kind of going back and
I got
forth.
a sense like it was a kind of very short period, and all of a sudden she finds out she has a
But within a week, she found out he had the girlfriend.
Yeah, okay. So within a week, how connected can you be with him in a week? Oh, I'm so connected. In a week? How connected can you be? Dump him. This is a guy who has no problems cheating on his girlfriend. What do you think he's going to do to you? You marry him, you know what he's going to do? He's going to be...
Find some other connection that she didn't mean to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Accidentally connects with somebody else.
An accidental.
Just accidentally.
Is it accidental? He was accidentally naked. I don't know how. Look, we were sitting there, and all of a sudden, whoops, our clothes fell off.
Accidentally.
It was an accident, and now he's having an affair with another woman.
Accident prone.
He's very,
He's accident prone.
very accident prone, and he's going to cheat on you. When you find out someone in the beginning is a piece of crap cheater, best that you move on. Just move on. You can't be that connected with him. All right? See ya!
Bye-bye, boys!
Have fun storming the castle.